morning. The time is 8:53 a.m. The news headline. 2 things Atiku can do to make Jonathan stay in PDP. Atiku Abubakar is really in the best position to dissuade or discourage former President Goodluck Jonathan from joining the All Progressive Congress. The former vice president can do things that can convince Jonathan to stay in the PDP. If Atiku does the 2 things, Jonathan won't have any other reason to leave the PDP. There have been several speculations that the former president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan would give camp to APC. He himself has not come out to openly deny or debunk the reports that link him to the APC. Even some top leaders of the People's Democratic Party have gone to meet him with a view of begging him to stay in the PDP. It shouldn't be forgotten that the same APC swept Jonathan out of power with its symbolic broom. The APC candidate Muhammadu Buhari convincingly defeated Jonathan and the PDP. The same APC is being linked to the former president. There could be reasons for him to join the party, but Atiku can stop him. The first thing is that the former vice president Atiku Abubakar needs to explain to Jonathan that there is no possibility that the former president will be given tickets of the APC if he, Jonathan, defects to the party ahead of 2023 presidential election. Atiku can talk from his personal experience when he went to join the party ahead of 2015 presidential election. Atiku Abubakar thought he would be able to get or secure the party ticket. He left the PDP and joined the APC, which was newly established through a merger of different parties or factions or political parties. Atiku slugged it out with Muhammadu Buhari, who had always been a part of the progressives. To make it more understandable, Atiku lost the primary election and he had to return to PDP. Apart from that, the APC didn't prefer Bukola Saraki during the indoor election in the National Assembly. He only outsmarted the party leaders by liaising with the PDP senators. Saraki is now back in the PDP. Atiku Abubakar should remind Jonathan of all these things. The former president may be convinced to stay in PDP. The second thing is that Atiku can inform Jonathan that the southern region should produce the next presidential candidate and that he, Atiku, would not throw his own heart into the ring so as to make the race for the PDP ticket less competitive or tough. This could be convincing enough for Jonathan. The main thing that can take Jonathan to the APC is the race for presidency in 2023. There could be no other reason. But if the PDP leaders, including Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, assure Jonathan that the former president can have the PDP ticket for the election, he, Jonathan, will stay in the party. And the news analysis is quite simple and not far-fetched, because there have been rumors all around that the former president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan is having a mindset, or could be nursing a mindset, of defecting to the All Progressive Congress. And there have been a whole lot of prophecies, in fact, by one primate, Ayodele of Inri, saying that if Jonathan should try it by defecting to 2023, although he said that only God can change his mind, but if he refuses and goes against this prophecy, that he would have himself to be blamed, that he already has a white garment and he should not allow any stain on that white garment. Same thing as one public analyst, or would I say a member of the APC, because he claimed that he was a member of the APC and a very strong supporter of the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. However, that would not stop him from not saying the truth as it is. He said that if the former president of Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan, should try defecting to the APC, that he would really demean himself, because his reputation and respect would actually fade away. He said he should resist from joining the bread and butter politicians who, finds way to move from one party to the other in order to just fulfill their selfish desire. He said because they lack ideological DNA. And he says that even if former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan should defect to the APC, that he would not still get or secure the presidential ticket, because privately the APC members, including the president himself, that is President Muhammadu Buhari, consider the Jonathan's regime to be a very woeful period. That as at then, there was the crude oil was selling at above $100 per barrel during most of his 5-year tenure, and that Jonathan failed to achieve much. Rather, there was massive looting of treasury and round-tripping of foreign exchange in the system, and the massive looting of the CBN votes in the last days of his tenure to fund the 2015 elections, which he still lost, as a major stain on his reputation. And that he insists that the same way that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has been a special envoy to ECOWAS, and becoming a national symbol of peace in the world as a whole, that he should just maintain that status quo. But if he allows the cajoling and sweet saying of some APC chieftains to bring him down to the APC, he will actually regret it. That the PDP members would actually start pouring insults on him and abuse him, and they would throw the kitchen sink at him, including possibly alleging that he defected to avoid EFCC prosecution, and they will mention all the foibles associated with him. Don't forget that they have the dossiers, yet the APC will never give him the presidential ticket, because where does he want to put the likes of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Rotimi Amechi, Babatunde Fashola, Godswill Akpabio, Yemi Osinbajo, and many others? He said he is even suspecting that the APC people that are luring him are doing so that they can finally humiliate him. And people are of the opinion that there are two things that Atiku Abubakar himself, who was a former vice president, can do to ensure that Jonathan does not defect to the APC. And he said that the first thing that he can do is that he should use his case as an example to Goodluck Jonathan, that as around 2015 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar joined the APC thinking that, as at then, thinking that he would actually be able to secure the presidential election, and even in the primary he lost. And Bukola Saraki himself, during the indoor election, they didn't prefer him for the National Assembly. So he should use these examples for Goodluck Jonathan, and hopefully he will yield. And the second thing is that Atiku can inform Jonathan that the southern region should produce the next presidential candidate, and Atiku, would throw his own heart into the ring so as to make the race for PDP ticket less competitive or tough. And this could be convincing enough for Jonathan, and Jonathan can have the PDP ticket for the election, and by this reason Jonathan might find a reason to stay. The time is 9:01 a.m. Good morning and thanks for listening.